What's up? What's up? What's up?
His overflowing love. I don't know. I'm there with you because I don't know
Yeah.
what it was a little while ago, but it just, and I could have been in my car, just something, but it struck my heart so, and I think it brought a tear to my eye. How much, God just loves us.
Crazy.
And it's crazy because some people that haven't yet tasted of it,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
Dad,
yeah.
you're missing out because you
Yeah.
really don't get what I'm saying. But it's like,
He loves you. He loves you, even when you don't love yourself. That concept, that's mind-boggling to me. Like when you feel your lowest, when you feel like, man, this is,
yeah,
like take it or leave it. I'm done. He's like, on that day, I still love you. My love for you did not change. The day you cursed him to his face, his love for you didn't change. That is
right.
crazy.
And if we just get a
Hell,
hold
yeah.
of that concept, you know what I mean?
Man.
You actually, the more you're talking about, you're bringing back to my memory what exactly I was thinking about, listening to that made me think about it. But the fact that he can love us so much that, he can place our sins into the sea of forgetfulness. The moment you say, okay, God, I repent, it's gone, like
It's gone.
erased from his memory.
Like can't even remember it.
You know
like
what I mean?
Like there are things that you're bringing back up, and every time you bring it back up, you're reminding God of something that He already forgot.
Right.
Like, do you get that?
Yes.
Like your speaking of
Yes.
it is the only thing that brings it back into His memory,
Right, 'cause it's
because He
gone.
already forgot it.
Right.
It's like that's
And he made it so. He was
He
like,
made
when
it
you do
so.
it like this, it's going out of my mind. He's the power that spoke that power over the whole thing.
right, which means that you need to let it go, because
Yeah.
when you get free from it,
Yes.
it's over.
Yes.
You're the one. You're not waiting on God to be free from it. He is done with it. He's waiting on you to be done with it, and it will be gone and no more. So anyway, this has nothing to do with the topic for the day. It's just what's on my heart. And guess what? It's our show. So I'm glad you took.
I was with that. Nobody even complained yet.
Nobody complained, right? I'm going off. It's our show. No, I'm just playing. We're glad you tuned in, and I hope that did something for you all. But we do have a topic for today. And our topic, so you can get your minds going, is drum roll. What is it? You do it.
Can Christians date more than one person at once?
Can Christians date more than one person at once? I think it's interesting. You think it's interesting. I hope you all think it's very interesting.
And I got a perspective on it.
And so do I. And I'm not sure that we're on the same page. And I love it. Because this is the eclectic Christian perspective.
Right, we didn't talk about it beforehand, so I'm definitely trying to hear you. And remember, you don't have to be in the dating scene right now. You could be married, you could be single.
I've been off that scene.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you still date your wife.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Come on.
Hey, boo.
Yeah. But it's like anybody can call, even if you're taking a break from dating. Come on, call, and we want everybody's feedback, the eclectic perspective. It is about to be on tonight.
Absolutely. But before then, we're gonna go to our "What's Happening Now" video.
Oh gosh.
It's one of those that I got to explain afterwards. But for now, we're just gonna call it "Do It for the Vine." That's what we're gonna call it for right now. So we're gonna go to that video now, and then we'll come back with our commentary.
Please call in.
2, 1. Do it for the vine. I ain't gonna do it. I said do it for the vine. I ain't gonna do it. I said do it for the vine. I ain't gonna do it. Well, do it for the Lord. She done got it. She got it for real. Y'all make some noise!
Well.
So why did we play that, huh?
Do it for the vine, yeah. So,
I ain't gonna do it.
yeah, why did we play that? Why did we take the time to show you that? Well, there is a purpose. So, one, there is some comedic value to it, I guess, I suppose. Ayanna had a good chuckle at it. I was, it was there was a couple of funny moments. But that's not the reason why we showed that to you. Actually, it's something that actually has been on my heart for a while. I spoke to Ayanna about it briefly, and I've been trying for a while to figure out how to bring this up into conversation. And I came across this video, and I said, well, let's do it this way. I had the opportunity to minister someplace recently, and I ministered there. And before I minister, I normally sing before I preach, and so I did that. And before I got home good, it was on Facebook, me singing. Who knew? And no, really, who knew? Because I didn't know that anybody was taping me, and it just began. It just, to me, represented a bigger issue. That's not really as major of an issue as some of the things that I've been seeing, which is people taping people shouting, putting it on YouTube, putting it on Facebook, people in just straight worship, crying, tears flowing, and people are taping that and putting it on Facebook and putting it on social media sites. And I have a problem with it because I just feel like those are my sacred, intimate moments with God, and we're doing it corporately, but it really is between me and God, and I don't give permission to people to take what is, I believe, is a sacred moment between me and God and then broadcast it for the world to see, especially when at times what was intimate to you actually gets twisted and turned into a mockery. We laugh at it, we poke fun at it, and so it makes you self-conscious, I think, in some level, because now I know people are possibly taping me in church, and so I'm conscious of that fact, and so maybe now I can't get as connected as I would have before in worship. I just think it creates such issue to have these things posted on social media without people's permission.
Well, what about the person who that's not their intent for it to be mockery, and they're just overjoyed? Let's say an older woman is just dancing across the church, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, look at that! I just want to post it and just share." Grandmother is still giving God praise.
Right.
Or what about the person that just does it for that reason, and then they could say, anything can be interpreted however the person is their perspective, however they are viewing it. You can't help the way people are going to view it.
But give grandma an opportunity to say that this is okay. You know what I mean?
I hear you. So what if the argument is that, well, the moment that you decided to participate in corporate worship and, to be intimate with God corporately, that you open up yourself for more views than just
that's the argument I can't get with. And I hear you, and I know you're doing partially for argument's sake. I don't know if that's your opinion at all, but I feel like when I came to corporate worship, when I come to corporate worship, I should not have to worry about. I came to a church where I expected 100 people. I'm just using this example. So I didn't expect it to be broadcast to thousands of people afterwards. And so when I walked in the church, there was one expectation. But by the time you finished with your video and so on and so forth, I done went viral, and I don't know how. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that that's a problem. I think that each individual's right should have the right to release that information as they, so choose. I have family members who are very private, and who will not sign up for Facebook, will not sign up for Twitter, any of those things. They completely abstain from those things, and so if they choose to abstain from those things, why should they have to worry about somebody else putting them on anyway, even though they chose not to be a part of that? I just think that it's wrong. I think it's an invasion of privacy to some degree, and then I also think that it begins to desensitize us to, and we had a conversation about this, we had a show about this, but it desensitizes us to what is sacred. What is
boundaries.
And what are boundaries? And I think boundaries are necessary in life, period. And I just think that once again, this is an invasion of, to me, it's an invasion of people's privacy, and it makes us have to second guess what we're doing in the house of God. And I don't want to have to come to church and have to second guess what's going to happen to, the video of me crying or whatever afterwards.
I was asking questions based off of what I know that other people probably would say, and I think we've actually, in passing, made comments about this just in general conversation. Right. And I think I vocally said, and I don't know what show, but the fact about putting the cameras away. Now, when a church service is professionally videotaped by their audio and visual crew, they know what they're getting. They know it's the prime time, and you'll only get a snippet of the worship, and scanning without focusing on too many people, but really focusing on the main thing. And a lot of times it becomes the trick of the enemy, because why are you taping when you're supposed to be participating in worship? That's number one.
That's the other thing. Yeah, good point.
We all come in to offer up our sacrifice of worship. And right now, what you're doing is just videotaping the next, and it becomes
because I can't get into worship as I'm sitting here trying
you're
to
not
catch
getting
you.
into it.
Right.
You're just like, oh yeah,
Right.
like, oh yeah, bless God. But you not trying to drop that phone. You're trying
Right.
to keep that
Right. Trying to make
view,
it steady.
yeah,
Right.
steady
Yeah,
view,
yeah.
all of that. So one, you're not participating. Two, your own worship is being hindered. Three, you might be hindering someone else's worship, and it becomes a distraction in the house of God. And I definitely agree about what needs to be sacred, because the reality is there are too many apps out there in society that everyone can use, that you can tweak and change and make this funny and loop this and do that.
Right.
And it becomes a minstrel show.
Yeah.
And the thing is, anything about the house of God, like we were talking about the desecration of the sacred, should not be made a minstrel show. That means that even if your intent is not that, you say, I refrain from that because I don't know how this is going to be twisted and taken out of context. And we see it so much. People think that what they're seeing on TV is on the videos and stuff are live and real.
Right.
And then you go find out that it was a spoof. It was this, it was that. So I definitely think that we should be wise. We should not. The enemy comes and gives us too many distractions.
Yes.
And so therefore we should not be a distraction. We should recognize things for what they are. Everything has its place. Videotape your child, for their first walk, okay,
Right.
their first steps, and
everybody don't want to see that either.
and that's true. And and post it and maybe share it
Right.
with a few family members.
Right.
You have that option on Facebook.
Right. I didn't know that until
To
recently.
make
Somebody
this
kept doing
private,
it to
or
me.
you
Yeah,
could just do it to a couple people.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, I was thinking about that as my upcoming event is happening. I was like, I don't know if I should tell people. I don't want these pictures up on Facebook. Like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I understand you want to share it with more family members that weren't there. You can make it private. Everyone doesn't make things private.
Right.
And I think personally, everyone doesn't need to see everything.
I agree. That's a privilege.
Yeah.
So.
So go back and get your regular albums and stop opening up them Facebook albums. And, you know what I mean?
Right.
Keep it private.
Right. And I want to say this one last thing. Also, we end up looking like clowns.
Yes.
Let's just say that, because some of the stuff, if you don't go to church, if that's not your culture, even if you go to other types of churches, because that's not, like, for example, what we just saw is not in every church.
Right.
Everybody doesn't understand that, and so when you now release it without explanation,
Right.
you look like a bunch of fools. And so it's like, protect the integrity of the church as well, so that when these things happen, it's in a setting where other people can explain, or the sermon now connects to what's happening in that moment. But when you now isolate these things, we just kind of look crazy sometimes. So
It's making me think so many other things. You about to make that into a show. I'm just, yes, let's just think about it. That's what's happening now.
That is what's happening now.
Again, anytime today, you can comment on it. I still want to hear what you have to say.
Word.
You are the guest, so feel free to call in 914-969-MIXX. That's 6499. You can call in and make your comments known. But we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening in the community now. There's a couple great things that is happening. We may not be mentioning it in its exact order, but maybe. But as we told you before, one of our previous guests, Dr. Tresmaine Grimes, was on here. She was talking about her book and talking about ministry and everything. And we also wanted to promote her event, which is finally coming up.
It's coming.
And that is this Saturday, Called to Worship. The event is Presence of God, okay? So the event is Presence of God. You're going to see the flyer up on your screen. And again, it's not a women's conference. I can't stress that enough. Sometimes when it is, when you say it by the Sarah's Daughters Ministries, you think it's a women's conference, but it's not. So it's Called to Worship Conference 2014, Saturday, July 12th, Crown Plaza Hotel. Tickets are $50 per person. You can also pay via PayPal. All right, so just letting you know that. And listen, when you purchase a ticket there, you're getting awesome speakers, the anointed presence of God. They're going to be vendors on site. You are also going to get, what are you also getting? A wonderful food spread. But part of your donations is going to benefit another nonprofit organization called Courtney's House in Washington, D.C. Okay, so be a blessing on a number of levels. You will not leave there the same way that you entered it. And go there with that mindset that God, I'm going to be changed having been in the midst of that. So
absolutely.
Further information will be up on your screen on the flyer at sarahsdaughtersministries.com. Okay, Call to Worship Conference, the Presence of God. All right, so I'm going to go to the next event. And I don't know if I'm going quicker than our engineer, so you guys will just catch up when you see the flyers coming up on the screen. But the second event that I wanted to promote is happening on July 19th. So we had the one event on July 12th. And now we have July 19th. AFCOM, Ambassadors for Christ Outreach Ministry Incorporated, is presenting their 8th annual Ministry in the Park. 8th year doing this. This is Saturday, July 19th. It's from 12 to 5 p.m. in Howell Park. That's at 204 East 3rd Street on the corner of Fulton Avenue and Mount Vernon. Now, there's going to be healthcare and social service information. We hope to have healthcare providers on site. There's going to be light refreshments, inspirational and Christian entertainment throughout the entire day. And I believe they're still looking for individuals who want to come out and volunteer. You want to invite people into the park. You want to help at one of the tables. You want to minister through the course of the day. You want to bring your choir, your group, your dance team. You want to share some Christian comedy. We are there to be a light in the area and really to uplift people. So that's July 19th, okay? So definitely check it out. That's in Mount Vernon. And shortly thereafter, so we're going to give you a little weekend or so break, but shortly thereafter, Friday, August 8th to Sunday, August 10th, the 2-to-1 Marriage Enrichment Retreat. Okay? That is, and I think some of the people who have gone there, couples of all ages and years of relationships have been blessed by it. It's $400 per couple, and that includes your conference materials, hotel accommodations, meals. There's going to be a date night. It's going to be just a way to just get out and have fun and to grow as couples. We believe in really supporting ministries that are supporting the sanctity and institution of marriage. So that's the Marriage Enrichment Retreat. So we gave you 3 great things to go on, right? That's the Presence of God Conference on the 12th. That is the Ministry in the Park on the 19th. And we just told you about this Marriage Enrichment Retreat 2-to-1.
I'm going to sneak one in, okay? Because I realized I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this earlier today. You know, when I have an opportunity to minister outside of these different places, I usually let it be known. But I realized I don't really announce when I minister within my own church. And so
that's a good point.
Yeah, so what's up with that, right? So this Sunday at 10:45 a.m. at Emmanuel Pentecostal Faith Temple at 344 South 5th Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, I will have the opportunity to minister on this Sunday morning. So we're inviting you all. If you do not have a church home, or if you can sneak by, if you have a church that starts later or whatever, stop on by. At 10:45, we'll be there, 344 South 5th Avenue. Hope to see you.
Awesome. That's what's happening in the community. And if you have any great events that you want to share with us, please feel free to send us an email at hiddentreasuresam@gmail.com. If it's appropriate, it's all aligned, it's free. If it's not free, whatever it is, we'll promote it to the community because we want to really support each other.
Absolutely.
And make sure we come out full numbers. People want to know what's to do, what's there to do. There's a bunch of things happening. So
word. So
that's the community.
Get ready for the conversation. We're about to drop that very soon. In the meantime, can we just remind them what the topic is right before we go into that? The question is it okay? Is it really okay for the Christians to date more than one person at once? Interesting.
Let's see.
We'll get into it. So, but first, we're going to go to BB and CC Winans. The song's called Never Thought. It makes me really happy. So I hope you guys get happy as you listen to this song. Never Thought, BB and CC.
Hey.
Welcome back to BB and CC Winans Revealed.
Right now, I want to sing a song. You know, sometimes your favorite song switches. You know, on Monday is this. And
this is
Tuesday.
A great song.
This song is one of those songs that just brings a smile to my face. And it really talks about, I think, something all of us can understand. Things happen in life that causes tears to fall and hearts to be broken. We lost our father and this year, and 4 years ago, my brother. And your life is altered with things that happen in life. But God promised to be so faithful in those times.
Yeah.
And I'm happy. I'm really happy. And that comes with confirmation of where my loved ones are. But I simply cannot tell you the joy that I have even in the midst of sorrow. But that's what God promised us all. And so this is what that song says. It says, never thought I'd be so happy. With everything that's happened, never thought I'd be so happy. I want it to be, want it to be, want it to be.
Never thought that never thought it happened. Love rescued me, filled my heart with passion. Never thought it would happen to me. Oh, oh, oh.
Right here, here's where I belong. Finally back from nowhere, unfair. That's how it seemed to be. A smile in me was so rare. Till the remedy of you, I live without living. Yes, I did.
Inside, I couldn't see the light. The darkness was so deep in me. I almost lost the fight, but victory is so sweet. And then the miracle of you is giving me meaning.
Oh, I never thought I'd be so happy. Never thought I'd be so happy. Never thought I'd be so happy. Oh, I never thought I'd be so happy. Never thought I'd be so happy. Never thought I'd be so happy. Oh, oh, oh.
I tried clinging to yesterday when all I need is right now. My life is better in every way. Your love has turned me around, and these moments spent with you fill my heart forever. Ooh.
Sometimes it's better just to cry and leave the past behind. Don't mind, tears aren't made to last. They fade fast when you find what I found in you. Something to believe in. Oh, oh, I never thought I'd be so happy. Never thought I'd be so happy.
Next on BB and CC Winans Reveal.
So I hope that made y'all as happy as it does me. That song makes me really happy.
They singing so well though. I love
They
to
do.
hear them together singing
CC
good
sings
music.
with a big bright smile.
All
Who
the
sings with a
time.
smile?
All
Who
the
does that?
time. Her professionalism is like.
Yeah, I wish I could look nice when I
You
when
know
I
what I
sing.
mean?
I look toe up.
I'm
when
trying.
I
I'm
sing.
trying to work on that. I'm trying to work on that. My presentation.
Ain't nobody got
posture,
time for that. I
smile.
got to get it in.
You better get it in smiling.
Anyhow, so it's that time.
It is on and popping.
It's
Can
about to go down.
Christians
Okay.
date more than one person?
Can Christians date
At
more
once.
than one person at a time? So, first of all, I think that we need to figure out, y'all can call in 914-969-6499. Please make sure you do that. So, the first, I think that we need to figure out what our definition of dating is.
Right. And what is our definition? And two, what does the Word of God say about it, if anything?
Sure.
So
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
Ladies first.
I'll say what my definition of dating
Sure.
is. My definition of dating is getting to know an individual or individuals with the intent of seeing if this can spark into something more. So it's not hanging out with a friend. It's just, hey, we, joke and laugh, blah, blah, blah. And this is my friend category. No, you're dating this person. You may have conversations on the phone. You guys may go out. It's not going Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
One person's paying for the other. Whoever decides to do on that day. Like if I'm taking you out, then I might be paying for you.
You said
guys.
it's not that?
I'm saying this is what it is. This is what it is.
It is going Dutch or it's not going
No,
Dutch?
not going Dutch. Dating is not going Dutch.
So you can't date and go Dutch?
In my definition,
Is that already part of the definition?
My
Okay.
definition,
All right.
because
I'm just
then-
making sure I have understanding.
I'm
Make sure
saying,
y'all understand
I'm
what
saying
you're
it's
saying.
not going Dutch because that almost teeters the line of being too much like two friends
Like
hanging
friends.
out. Yeah. So if you're making that distinction because you're not looking, you're saying, can I see this person as more than just a friend? So let's go both hang out. Maybe you're paying for me this time. Maybe I'm paying for you next time. But we're not. Let's split the bill. How much that costs? Okay. How much it costs? 2020. Look, you taking me out. You taking me out. Right. All right. So
I'm
now,
so ready to jump in already.
you
but
know,
go ahead.
and so what did I say? So we're talking on the phone, go out on dates. It could be in nice places, whatever, or whatever you guys choose the date to be. It's up, it's up to your choice. But for me, there's a level of the line of intimacy. So it's not like you're dating a bunch of people and you're being intimate. And I'm just talking, you're kissing every one of them, whatever. For me, dating is not that.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe we hug, you know what I mean? And we go out on a date, whatever. But I personally wasn't kissing everybody that I was dating because I was thinking that's kind of skeevy, and I'm going on dates with a
Not
couple more
kind of,
people
that
at
is,
once.
yeah.
That was me. Some people think dating
Oh, that's
is
true. I'm
differently,
sorry. Well, we talking about our perspective.
This is
you
my
got something to say? Call in.
You know what I mean?
Call in.
You
We
got
invite you
something, sir.
Right.
But that's what I'm thinking. That's what distinguished it from just the buddy hanging
Well,
out.
we are almost on the same page.
You want to go Dutch?
No, I don't. I don't necessarily want to. I just don't know if that has to be a part of the definition. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But I think one of the keywords that I want to bring out so that we just know what we're working with is intent was a word that you talked about. You said with the intention of finding out if this is something more than whatever.
Right.
Right. And so I think I agree with Ayanna. I think that dating is to go out with someone, talk to somebody, whatever, explore something with someone to see for the intent of seeing if there is more to it, if there is some chemistry that would allow you to now further see if this will develop into a relationship of some sort.
And I think the communication will needs to be a part of that and take that there.
Okay.
So not saying, okay, I'm going out with you because I want to see if you're going to be my man, if I'm going to see blah, blah, blah. No. But your conversation may, maybe a little bit more open to that. You might be inquiring. If you're just a buddy, I don't care if you're dating somebody or not, right?
Right.
But are you dating somebody? Or are you interested in
Well,
a
that should
couple
be
people?
before you start dating.
Right. True.
Yeah, that's just a little
Right,
late if you're on the date.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me say that it's a little late to ask that question if you're already on the date.
Not to ask if they're dating, to ask if they're in a serious relationship, right? Because
Either way, it's too late when you're on the date.
Right. The conversation before
You don't
the
think
date.
that should happen before the date?
No, the conversation before the date.
Okay.
Yeah, it should have happened. Yeah. That's that, because the only reason why I say the communication, because a lot of times, whether or not some people, and we're going to talk in terms of Christians, some of them, whether or not they decide to just date this one person, and in their mind, they're secretly hoping, is this going to be the one, this going to be, and they never communicate, my intent is to date you and see if this can be a relationship or whatever.
Right.
And the other person could be just, cool and whatever. So I think your intention and also some of the communication as to what do we do? Is this sort of like a flirty, datey sort of thing? Is
Right.
that what we do? You know, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Okay, so we're on the same page about that.
Yes.
So here's the actual question: should Christians date more than one person at a time?
See, I have a problem with the word should. Because it should or could. Because some people may believe that you, as a Christian, you shouldn't, and you really can't date.
I actually had the opposite problem. I have a
Really?
problem with the word could.
Oh, how funny!
Because you can.
Right.
The answer to me, the answer
okay,
to
I got
that is black and white. You can do whatever you want to do.
right.
Right. So let me make that clear.
Okay.
So that's why I actually changed it, because I think we originally
could.
said could.
Right.
But it's really should. Is it the right thing to do?
So
Really is what I'm talking
I
about.
might get blasted. I might get blasted
Hey.
by people, but whatever. It's my perspective. Oh! You about to blast me already?
I love it. Every episode you can get blasted.
Oh, no, Cola, you on the air. We would like to hear you.
Hello, God bless. How are you?
Hi.
So it's funny. My husband and I were talking about your topic, and we were just talking about should Christians date more than one people at a time. And I thought that was a very interesting topic that you are presenting. And so I think my husband and I both agreed. And he made a valid point, and he didn't want to actually get on air, but I'm going to say what he spoke about. He said he thinks it's very, I think it's important, he said, for young people to be able to date more than one person at the same time, as long as they're open and honest with the other people that they are. He said just in the same like manner, when you go before God, you want to make sure that this is the right person, but you also want to know if the character of that person complements yours, right? It's the same like manner when you're shopping for the right school or you're shopping for the right car. You don't just grab the first one. You know, you just have to be able to look and explore, and by that, you're getting to know more about yourself. And I thought that was an interesting point. I just want to stress that I think it's important if people are just upfront and be open and honest. Say, listen, I'm, dating a few people, but it's not, anything serious, but just getting to know who I am and getting to know others.
So,
that's what we were
caller,
talking about.
both you and your spouse had the same perspective about being able to date more, but being honest, being open in the communication, being clear about that. So both a male and a female perspective.
Yes, definitely.
Nice.
Definitely.
Thank you, caller.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
calling.
I think it's important to be prayerful for sure. But dating others, and I think we get lost into this idea that as Christians, we have to date this one person. This is the person we kind of like say this is it.
Right.
And it may not be the one for you.
Right.
And it's important just, the more you date. And I don't mean, go overboard, but as long as you're open the right candidate with the other person, I think it's fine.
Thank you. Thanks for that
No.
perspective.
Thanks for calling, caller.
Thank you
Calling
both.
in on
Thank you
Calling
both.
Mondays.
God bless.
So I
So
was
you were
gonna
right
say,
to getting ready to get blasted. So go ahead.
but maybe I'm not. I think that it is all right to date more than one person at once. When we first talked about it, my fiance's not in the room, but when we first
I
talked
wish she
about
was
it,
here.
it's funny thing is 2 years to today is when we were like, it's been official, like this is our anniversary.
To today?
To today, the
Wow.
7th. Yeah,
Congratulations.
right? Thank you. And so, but when I first met him, I was going on dates with other people.
Right.
And I was honest with him about that. Because I said I'm not ready to be committed. I am interested in getting to know you more. We were talking on the phone, we did go out on dates and stuff like that. And he knew, you know what I mean? Now, so
Sorry.
he's not here, so he can't say anything. If he calls, he's probably asleep, so he can't call in right now. But for me, that was important because I had gone through seasons of being in, taking some time to commit to relationships, and then it wasn't really the right one. And so then I went through a season of personally praying like, okay, God, if I'm in this relationship and this is not the one that I need to pursue, make it very clear my emotions. You know what I mean? Because then there was some people I didn't want to go be in a long-term relationship and realize, oh my gosh, I'm not in love with you. I'm not blah, 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 blah. Then I went through this phase. I was like, you know what, God, I just need not to date anybody right now because I don't want to get my emotions so tied up.
But see, and I was hesitating to interrupt you, but you're using two, and I felt like the caller did this to some degree as well. You're using two different words interchangeably. You're saying dating, and then you're talking about relationships at the same time. And for me, we've already defined that they're not one and the same.
That's right.
So,
but if you don't check your emotions sometimes, and you have to know yourself as an individual, it's very easy to
True.
get it blurred.
Right.
So if you know I can get connected to this person, and then this can become more of a relationship thing, and just instead of a dating thing, I need to see. I need to keep my emotions in check. So then there was a season for me. I was like, God, I just need not to date anybody right now because I really don't want my emotions to get caught up with someone who's not the man that I'm going to pursue a courtship with. And that wasn't that whole season right before my fiance, right? And so then I went through a season like, look, I want to just go out. I just want to enjoy myself. And I was going out on dates with individuals, and I did not cross the line physically. You hug and everything like that. But for me personally, I was not kissing these gentlemen because I was like, okay, this is more than one person I'm going on a date with. We talked on the phone. It might have been a nice little flirty conversation, but it wasn't over the line that became sexual. Also, the and we went out to places. It would be to dinner or to a show or to whatever else. And if the, conversation was very clear, we did ask her, are you in a serious relationship with anybody? Before we even went on a date. No, I'm just interested in getting to know people, or I'm interested in going on dates. And depending on, people's responses are different.
So then what's, and this is not an interview, but what's the, I feel like now I'm interviewing. What was your intention as you were dating these people, and vice versa? What was the intention of the other party as you were not really trying to enter into a committed relationship but going out on these dates?
For me, because I had taken a season of not dating anybody because I just wanted to not get caught up with anybody. I wanted to focus on purpose and blah, 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 blah.
So then, blah, blah, blah.
Those are all good blahs.
Purpose and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay.
Sorry, you understand.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, I just want to go out. I want to meet people. I want to, not just in group settings, I want to go out and to potentially see, because I think I was ready to start dating again. So dating with the intent of seeing, is this someone I can be in a serious relationship with? So that was the intent of the dating, or else I would not have been dating at that time. I could have been hanging with my guy friends, which I was so
And so you
okay
think
with.
that they were doing the same thing? The opposite is true for the man?
Yeah. And, there was one or two that was like, I'm not dating anybody else. Because they were very clear as to what their next step was.
Right, they were dating for the purpose of
courtship and for an intense relationship. And so, but I was very honest with everyone. I'm not ready to be in a committed relationship yet. I want to make sure, when I get into, for me, because at that point I knew if I got into a serious relationship, then this was going to lead to marriage. Okay. So I needed to date more than one. And I personally think it's good for some people too, because it helps them not to fixate on one person. And I think too many times, and I've seen it, in Christendom, that someone dates someone, they like them a little bit, like, oh my gosh, that's my husband. God showed me in a dream. No, it was your own emotions or hormones. This is what I'm committed to. And you got this whole life story playing out in your head, and you guys have had like 3 conversations and went out on one date.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or you were in one group setting, and maybe you guys had 20 minutes of alone time, and now you're getting all caught up.
But you don't think that same person does that even when there are multiple people?
They could. It depends on the person.
Because I think that's a person. I personally think that's a personality thing. That's that you can be dating 3 or 4 people, and every one of those you are imagining yourself walking down the aisle with, because that's who you are. That's the mindset that you have, and you just in hopes that one of these got to be it. And so I'll kiss a couple of frogs in order to get the prince. I'm just saying. That's what I've been told.
No, I'm glad you said it's a personality thing, because I think for me, my personality was, let me guard my heart.
You're somebody else. Yeah.
I'm just somebody
else. Yeah, if y'all don't know her, she's somebody else.
But part of it was like, let me guard my heart. Yeah. 2, I want to just get out and just have fun.
Right.
3, I want to meet more than, meet different people, because then you want to make sure is this the one. And I'm going to tell you, for me, it really helped, because my fiance, who was one of the people I was dating at the time, who knew what was going on, you know what I mean? Like, it really stood out. And
was he dating other people?
He chose not to.
Okay. If he chose to date other people,
at that early stage,
you were fine.
It would have been fine.
Okay.
It would have been fine. And that
doesn't do anything for you mentally.
At that point, it didn't.
It
wouldn't have. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it wouldn't happen. I'll finish that thought. Caller, you're on the air. What do you have to say?
Good evening. I'm calling gosh, with my views, with my perspective on the subject, myself being brought up the way I was in a Christian home, and with the sense that you meet somebody, you marry them because you're young, you don't want to sin and that sort of thing. And so I did not take the time to really get out there and meet other people. It was almost like the first person I met, you know, and you start spending time with that person, feelings develop, next thing you know, you're married.
Yeah, because you don't want to burn.
I'm just saying, in hindsight, if I had to do it over again, I would have saw other people. But like the other caller was saying, with the clarity that, you know, what my intent is, and definitely finding out what their intent is.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Totally agree. Thank you for your call.
Thank you, caller. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Bye-bye.
So, do we want my perspective?
Yeah, let me hear your perspective.
Because I've been interviewing you thus far.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, is my perspective the same as Ayanna's? The answer is no. So,
Let's see what you have to say.
I actually disagree. I don't think that Christians should date multiple people at the same time.
Why?
And the reason why is because I believe it's all about intent. And I believe that the whole purpose of dating as Christians, I'm not talking about what I did when, because, listen, I was always a Christian, but I wasn't always following Christ.
Yes.
Whatever that
Make
means.
that
That's a whole
distinction.
nother, that's a whole nother discussion. But once I decided, you know, that I was going to follow Christ for real, now dating was about me finding the person that I was going to settle down with, you know. And so for me, I feel like that needs to be explored on an individual basis. I think it could get really clouded when I'm trying to do that with multiple people at the same time. Like, are you it? Are you it? Are you it? Are you it? Because now I begin to compare you to the next person. It is natural. I don't care who you are. If you are dating, to me, if you are dating multiple people, you are going to begin to compare one to the next. Well, she has this and she has that and she has that, but she doesn't have that. You're going to begin to naturally compare, and I think that it should be isolated. You should be able to say, well, no, this is we're going to go out. We're going to see how things progress. And here's the reason. Here's the other part of it, because this is why I wanted to differentiate between dating and a relationship. Mm-hmm. Because to me, dating does not last long. Mm-hmm. You can go on dates long. You know, as you said, I can still date my wife, but the process of dating doesn't last long. Mm-hmm. You should be able to know within the first, you know, couple of dates if this is somebody who, you know, is going to be worth your time, you know. And so I don't believe in wasting time. And so if you went out the first time and you realize, this is not something that, you know, this person didn't do nothing for me, nothing sparked, conversation wasn't so great, move on to the next one. There's no need to waste your time and continue to have dates. And so I think that's where why I draw the line right there, is because I feel like a lot of it is wasted time. Is you already know that this ain't gonna work, you know, and so why continue to be in something that you know is not working? One last point I want to make, because I really do, and I've told this to a lot of my female friends. I might even told it to you before. I believe that there is certainly a difference, and this is a different show, but there's a difference between men and women. The way our thought processes generally are different. Scripture, there's a scripture that says, and bring up scripture, it says, Paul says, when I was a child, I spoke as a child, understood as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things. I believe that is absolutely, positively, 100% truth. I believe when a man knows, when he has made a decision, you know, of where he wants to go in life, there is no ambiguity there. He's looking for a specific thing, and he's not going to dance around it. And so those of you who've been with somebody, oh man, I'm about to mess somebody up. Those of you who've been with some man for 10 years and he is not committed to you, we have a problem, because men don't do that. Men make a decision and they, you know, follow what it is that they want. And so,
so she thinks she's in a long-term relationship and he's just doing long-term dating.
He's just long-term dating, because if he really wanted to, if he was sure about this, then he would have done it by now. And so, anyway, my point is that I don't believe that it takes men that several, you know, 4 or 5 months of dating to figure out I want to be in a relationship with you. No, it takes a couple of dates before you recognize this is something I want to pursue. Now, relationship doesn't also mean that now we're engaged. It means that now we've gotten to a next level in this process
Right.
where we're really considering one another, for more.
And I wanted to say, you were talking about that your intent for dating was to see if it could be, I'm trying to think how you worded it, something that you want to spend your time on and go further.
Right.
Now, for me, dating multiple individuals was for me to see if I'm even ready to become committed into any type of relationship. So I think
Never thought about it.
I think it depends on the person because I wasn't one of those types that dreamt about my wedding day from when I was 16. But other people are like that, and that's fine. So for me, dating different individuals was me finding out for me, am I even ready to really put in time with somebody? That's number one. Number two, you talked about, I see it both sides, how you end up comparing individuals. That's true. But I think you also get an idea of what you want. And sometimes you don't know what you want or how you want to be treated until you're treated that way. So then you realize, okay, this one calls me, and if I don't call back right away, they're complaining about it, and I'm not trying to deal with that.
Right.
And this other one, you know what I mean? He calls me first thing in the morning. He calls me in the evening, and it's cool.
And I don't want that neither.
Right. And you're so stupid. But in that moment, for me, that might be what I want. Be like, oh, I like that. So sometimes it's a learning process, and again, this is without blurring the lines with sexual energy and that type of intimacy. It's learning. This is what I like.
Can we bring that in? I cannot believe we're almost at this time already, but I want to bring this. This is bothering me. So because I want to bring that in. Do you believe that? Because I see this both ways, but do you believe that dating multiple people increases or decreases the temptation for sexual perversions?
I think it depends on a person. I think the opportunity for it is there for it to increase. For me, it decreased. So, it was a safety thing for me. But somebody else, it may be like, "Ooh, I'm getting so excited. I want you. I want you. I want you. Right. And now like I had a friend literally, and she had to be like, "Look, I've just gone buck wild. This is just too much," because so many different guys were coming to her at the same time, and she was getting wrapped up with them intimately, and she was like, "What the heck am I doing?" But so for her, it wasn't good, right? And then they were crossing those sexual tension lines and things like that. For me, it was just, it helped to decrease. I think it can go both ways. Like, I don't think it's like, this is a surefire answer for you. And
well, I think, and this is a good way to try to get into the wrap up mode, is that there is no surefire answer. Period. I hope that you all come away with this, that the Bible does not explicitly speak on the subject of dating because, go ahead.
I agree.
Because dating is not what it was now.
Right.
All marriage was arranged.
Right. But it does talk about moral character. It talks about integrity. It talks about how to deal with people. It does talk about lust.
Right.
So I think those things are elements that are involved with dating.
Yeah, but it doesn't really talk about
step one, more than one person or not.
Right. Like, because you can do all that with multiple people.
Yes.
It doesn't really explicitly, let us know that, because in that day, that's not what relationships were even about. Relationships, you really dated after marriage,
right?
Because now I got to get to know who I just married,
right?
And so things were very different then. So I think that's where what you're saying comes into play, is that there are now some things that the Bible has told us about moral character and keeping pure and things of that sort that we now apply to the dating,
the dating
scene. But it's interesting. The first word that was going to come to my mind is dating game. And I think that's part of the problem. I think that connotation,
because it can become a game,
and that's why, to some degree, and it's not that all dating is game, but I think that's part of the problem to me with Christians in dating, is because to some degree it is. There's a lot of game,
but that's because there's no honesty and no communication. We got a next call in Monday. First Monday, next call in Monday. There's more to talk about this. It's time to go. There's another show coming up behind us. Stay tuned and In the Mix Radio. To our callers who called in, thank you. Spread the word. We're not going to finish.
And to everybody who text messaged me, I'll never speak to you again.
Bum. We do thank you. Next Monday, call in Monday in August. We're going to maybe continue this topic. We're getting too many responses. And I think we didn't delve deep. It's more to this. We got it.
It's a lot more to this.
Yeah, we got to we got to stay here. So anyway, that's it. This was a great show. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for those who called in. Remember, next time, call in. We want to hear from you more so.
Absolutely. And please,
you know how to stay connected with us.
You do know how to stay connected, but don't forget the events that we announced earlier. Please go to our Facebook page. They'll be posted onto our Facebook page so that you can see those as well.
Yes.
They're also popping up on your screen right now. Please make sure that you support our people. And are we good?
We're good.
We good. Peace.
so
Till
good.
next week.
In the name of Jesus.